It's 11:47 on a Tuesday night, and your phone is face down on the kitchen counter. Someone you've known for 6 years just asked how you've been. You typed 3 different answers. You deleted all of them. The one you finally sent was 4 words long, and it was true, but it was not the truth. You put the phone down and stood at the counter for another minute, not because you were upset, but because something in you had just done what it always does, quietly, automatically, without your permission, and you wanted to understand it before you walked away from it. Most people look at this kind of silence and call it introversion, or guardedness, or bad communication. Psychology tells us something very different is happening. What looks like privacy from the outside is one of the most precise psychological adaptations a person can develop, and by the point most people never hear, I'm going to show you the specific cost you've been paying for it that nobody has ever named for you out loud. If you don't understand what you're actually doing and why you learned to do it, you will spend another decade confusing a survival strategy for a personality trait. The first thing to understand is that you are not withholding, you are filtering. When someone asks you a casual question, your mind doesn't freeze. It runs a calculation most people never run. It asks, silently, what will this person do with this information? How will they hold it? How will they repeat it? How will they feel about me after they've heard it? And is the version of me they'll build from this answer a version I can live with? Psychologists call this self-disclosure regulation, and it is not a choice you're making in the moment, it is a reflex. Your nervous system learned, somewhere earlier than you can remember, that information is not neutral. Information is currency, and currency can be spent against you. So you became the kind of person who audits every sentence before it leaves your mouth. Not shyness. Strategy. Not avoidance. Preservation. Not coldness. Bandwidth. The second thing is the way you've organized your life into rooms. You have people who know about your work. You have people who know about your family. You have people who know what you did last weekend. Almost no one knows all 3. This is not an accident, and it is not paranoia. It is a structural instinct called compartmentalization, and for people who carry your pattern, it's not a defense mechanism anymore. It's architecture. You built it so carefully over so many years that you stopped noticing you built it. When 2 people from different rooms meet each other, you feel something tighten in your chest, and you cannot fully explain why. What you're feeling is the seams of the structure being tested. You are not hiding anything shameful. You are protecting the integrity of a system that has kept you functional for a long time. Stay with me. What comes next is the one most people carrying this pattern never hear named, and it is the point that reframes everything you think you understand about yourself. Because the third thing, the thing underneath the first 2, is that your privacy is not about the present. It is about a moment in your past when you shared something real with someone who didn't know how to hold it, and you watched their face process it slightly wrong, and something in you made a decision, silently, that you would not be doing that again. You may not remember the moment, your nervous system does. Psychologists who study attachment call this a deactivating strategy. It is the mind's way of reducing the anxiety of closeness by shutting down the need for closeness before closeness can disappoint you. You learned very young that the cost of being known incorrectly is higher than the cost of not being known at all. So you chose the second cost. And you've been paying it, quietly, for years. The fourth thing is the cost itself, and this is the part nobody names. The cost of being a private person is not loneliness. Loneliness is the obvious story, and it is not your story. Your cost is subtler and heavier. The cost is that you live inside a version of yourself that almost no one in your life has access to, which means almost no one in your life is actually in a relationship with you. They are in a relationship with a part of you that you let them see. You know this. You've known it for a long time. You feel it at dinners, at reunions, in the middle of conversations that are going well. There is a small, constant awareness that the person laughing across from you is laughing with someone who is technically you, but not fully you, and the gap between those 2 people is a gap only you can feel. This is called disclosure asymmetry, and what you are doing is harder than it looks. Holding an edited version of yourself in every room, for years, without slipping, without forgetting which version goes where, requires a level of cognitive regulation most people never have to develop. Before I show you the next point, I want you to know something. This next part is the one people usually message me about. So if what you've heard so far has felt like a mirror, what comes next is the window. Because the fifth thing is that your privacy was never really about other people. It was about you. Specifically, it was about your relationship to your own story. Most people develop what psychologists call self-concept clarity by talking. They figure out who they are by saying things out loud and watching which sentences feel true after they leave the mouth. You do the opposite. You figure out who you are in silence, by running the sentences internally and keeping the ones that survive the edit. This is not a worse method. It is a more expensive method. It requires you to be your own listener, your own witness, your own archive. The fact that you've done this for as long as you have, without anyone helping you do it, means your internal locus of evaluation is unusually strong. You do not need the crowd to tell you who you are. You already know. Not broken, calibrated, not hiding, filtering, not small, concentrated. This last sign is the one I want you to sit with, because this is the point that connects every sign above it. Don't leave before it. The sixth thing is that the privacy you've built is not neutral anymore. It has become a kind of identity. When people describe you to other people, the first word they reach for is often mysterious, or reserved, or hard to read. And you have a complicated relationship with those words. Part of you is proud of them, because they are evidence the system is working. And part of you is tired of them, because they describe a person who is not entirely the person you are when you are alone with yourself. This is the quiet grief of the private life. You have become so good at being unreadable that the people who love you have learned to love the outline of you instead of the inside of you. And the people who might have loved the inside of you never got close enough to know there was one. The fear you don't say out loud is not that you are too closed off. The fear is that you have spent your life being intelligent about something nobody has ever told you was intelligent, and that when you're gone, the version of you most people will remember will be the version you built to keep yourself safe, not the version you actually were. That fear is real. And it is also wrong, because the privacy you developed is not a wall you built to keep people out. It is a container you built to keep yourself intact in a world that asked you, too early, to be something other than what you were. The people who eventually get to see inside the container are not getting a reward for patience. They are getting the only version of intimacy that was ever going to be real for you, which is the slow version, the earned version, the version that does not mistake access for closeness. You were not cold. You were careful. You were not hiding. You were waiting. You were not withholding love. You were refusing to counterfeit it. And the small number of people who made it inside your life, the ones who know what you eat when no one is watching, what you worry about at 4 in the morning, what you were like before you learned to be the person you are now, those people are not your social circle. They are your evidence. Evidence that the system worked. Evidence that when you decided to be known, you were known correctly. It's 11:47 on a Tuesday night, and your phone is face down on the kitchen counter. You are still standing there. The 4-word answer you sent is still true. But something about tonight is different, because for the first time, you are not standing at the counter trying to understand what is wrong with you. You are standing at the counter understanding what is right with you and has been right with you for a long time. The quiet life is not the unlived life. The private life is not the smaller life. You have been living at a depth most people never access, in a language most people never learn, with a precision most people never develop. That is not a failure of connection. That is a different form of it. Comment one word, just one, the word you would use for the thing you've been carrying alone that this video finally named. Don't explain it, just the word. Subscribe if you want more of this. You were never too private. You were just waiting for someone to say it correctly.